Now let's get going, folks, and we'll begin like we will every day here on Menzoid Mornings with something that's really grinding my gears. Time now for the Menzoid monologue. Well, this Sunday, Canadians are supposed to get together, huddle in front of a TV and watch our homegrown version of the Super Bowl, the Grey Cup. Alas, the Menzoid will not be among them. In fact, I am actually calling for a boycott of the CFL championship game, and for that matter, the CFL in general. No, this has nothing to do with the Menzoid's desire for an NFL team relocating to Toronto. Besides, the Menzoid knows the Buffalo Bills will soon be playing all of their games out of Skydome as the gridiron version of the Toronto Toros. No, the issue is simply this. The CFL is an illegal sports league. Oh, it's true, it's true. Need proof? Well, riddle me this, folks. Why is it that we must report temperature in Celsius, sell bananas by the gram, measure speed and distance by the kilometer, and purchase petroleum by the liter? And yet, when it comes to the CFL, the field isn't marked out in System International. Approved meters? Nope. Even in 2012, the CFL clings to defunct old imperial yards. And without repercussions to boot. It's a heinous double standard, folks. I mean, after all, if this news network reverted back to reporting temperatures in Fahrenheit, or if your friendly neighborhood Imperial oil station sold gas imperially by the gallon, oh, there'd be hell to pay thanks to the measurement mandarins in Ottawa. So how is it that millionaire sports team owners and their richy rich pro athletes don't have to play by the same set of rules as everyone else when it comes to metrification? This has bothered the Menzoid for a long time. When I first contacted the CFL, a spokesman said sticking with yards all came down to tradition and the fact that all the league's records over the decades have always been measured in yards and inches, not meters and centimeters. What's more, the CFL spokesman said if the league was ever forced to go metric, they would simply mark off the field in 110 increments, measuring exactly 91.44 centimeters, in other words, 36 inches, and each 91.44 centimeter increment would officially be known as something called a yard. Hey, who knew the C in CFL stood for cheeky monkey? In fact, if anything, the CFL has a perfectly legit reason to go metric. I mean, after all, a CFL field between the end zones is 110 yards. Think about that, 110. What a dumb number. Well, by happy coincidence, 100 meters fits almost perfectly into a 110-yard footprint. And 100 is such a nice round number, wouldn't you say? But no, the CFL gets to flaunt metrification long after it became law. This isn't right. After all, the Canadian populace, that is to say, those who aren't professional football players, has suffered enough. Used to be that if someone got 28 miles to the gallon, that was a pretty fuel-efficient vehicle, but in the bizarro metric world, we must contend with liters per 100 kilometers. Really? Does anyone say their car consumes 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers? By the way, there was a solution to this. We could have measured fuel consumption by adopting the far more understandable system of kilometers per liter. Oh, that was way too logical for Ottawa's measurement czars. And let's be honest, does anyone measure their tire pressure in kilopascals as opposed to pounds per square inch? Didn't think so. Oh, and not to be rude, but what was the sense of going metric in the first place, given that our largest trading partner, the United States, is still rooted in imperial? Indeed, the Menzoid remembers back in 1975, when metric madness first began, how he had to sit through government propaganda films as a grade 7 student. He remembers the Q&A about the trading partner thingy, and it was answered thusly. Metrification in the United States is, quote, just around the corner, according to the Metric Canada Commissioner. Ooh, 37 years later? That's some corner. The point is, either we have one measurement standard for everyone, or we have complete freedom of choice. The fact remains the CFL enjoys privileged status in this land for no good reason. Put another way, if you operate a grocery store and sell fruit exclusively by the pound, expect to be fined or even shut down. But if you run a professional football league, you can measure the progress of the game in yards and inches with no repercussions whatsoever. In fact, your lawlessness will be celebrated because it supposedly contributes to a century-old sporting tradition and the great Canadian mosaic. Bottom line, come Sunday afternoon, the Menzoid's TV set will be a CFL-free zone, and it will remain CFL-free until measurement liberty finally returns to our Grand Dominion. Or maybe I'll change my mind and tune in anyways. Argos! And that's the Menzoid monologue.